Welcome to Monday morning Dharma on October 14th. Let's go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture. Please take care to ensure that your spine is straight and relaxed. Please just turn yourself over to this meditation practice. As you settle into a meditation posture, please feel free to take as your role model the mountain. The mountain is balanced, grounded, and stable, unmoving, unmovable, silently observing, silently accepting. Please draw your awareness inside of your body and become aware of sensations. Sensations that may start in your hands and your feet in the form of a tingling, perhaps a lightness, perhaps a heaviness, perhaps a pulsation. All that is asked of you is to silently observe these sensations and allow a more tranquil, supple, awakened state of awareness to emerge. The mountain is still. The mountain is ancient. Rain may fall on the mountain or not. The wind may blow or not. A flock of migrating birds may fly past the mountain. The mountain simply observes silently. No hope, no fear, no praise, no blame, no attachment, no aversion. Be a mountain as you silently observe sensations within your own body mountain. I'm now going to recite the mantra of the perfection of wisdom. And I'd like you to please listen to the syllables of this mantra with your inner body. Hear the mantra through your inner body. Teata, Om Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Teata, Om Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate Bodhisoha. Teata, Om Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate bodhisoha. Teata omgate gate. Paragate. Parasamgate bodhisoha. Teata omgate gate. Paragate. Parasamgate bodhisoha. Now please gently redirect your awareness. Become aware again of this collection of parts that we've agreed to label physical body, and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of physical body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of clouds, of blue sky beyond the clouds, of outer space beyond the blue sky. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings, without exception, enjoy an abundance of pure air and water, delicious, nutritious food, safe, warm, dry, reliable, affordable shelter, and comfortable, functional, attractive clothing. And with everyone's basic needs met, may we all enter and progress on wisdom paths that lead to complete, permanent liberation from all forms of suffering. And completely fill up your belly and lungs with air. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. So, I'd like to use this morning's class, take a detour, a one morning detour from our discussion of the text Training in Tenderness, to talk about, you guessed it, mantra practice. It just was revealed to me this morning that I need to talk more about mantra practice and appeal to you all more to the extent that you're not already incorporate mantra yoga into your practice. I would submit to you that mantra yoga, the recitation of mantras, is a practice, maybe the practice for 21st century Westerners. I've mentioned in a class before that is recorded and on the YouTube channel, I submitted that mantra yoga, again, the word yoga meaning to unify, that is, we unify with the mantra, that the practice of mantra yoga is simple and easy. In things in life, I'm sure that we've all had the experience or come to know that simple is not always the same as easy. The practice of mantra yoga is simple and easy and powerful. One can complete one's path through the practice of mantra yoga. There's benefit, of course, for having a number of different practices. Yeah. Most of us aren't forced to pick one practice and stay with that. But if you were, for whatever reason, if you were forced to pick one practice to do, I would say it should be mantra yoga. You know, it's amazing. And one of the things that's so beautiful about the practice of mantra, and why I say it might be the practice for 21st century Westerners, is that we Westerners are busy, right? We're busy. We've got a lot going on, right? Not all of us have time to sit down 2 or 3 times a day for 20, 30 minutes, maybe longer. Yeah. That's why mantra yoga is so beautiful. You've got 2 or 3 minutes, sit down, recite some mantras, and you can do it silently. So if you're in a coffee house, you won't embarrass yourself in front of the other patrons of the coffee house or your housemates or whomever it might be. Yeah. You've got 2 or 3 minutes, sit down in that chair in front of your desk and recite mantras, do mantra yoga. At the other end of the extreme, one can do mantra yoga for hours and days and years. As I was thinking about what I was going to share with regard to mantra yoga, I was reminded of a documentary I saw years ago. It was a documentary of this spiritual festival that takes place in India that's called Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela, some of you might have heard of it. It's a really big celebration, even by Indian standards, right? I think it's a month long, maybe. People migrate from all over the country, millions of people, millions and millions of people, an ocean of humanity that come together for the Kumbh Mela. And one of the people that they profiled briefly in the documentary was a sadhu. A sadhu is kind of a homeless yogi or yogini, right? They live with the clothes on their backs and they, just have a very, very simple, austere life. And do you know that this yogi's practice was, believe it or not, this yogi's practice was to live with his arm extended over his head like this. That was his practice, living with his arm over his head. I can't remember how many years he had been living that way, but it was over 10. I want to say like in the neighborhood of 15 years with his arm over his head. Why am I bringing that up? I'm not exactly sure, to tell you the truth. Maybe it's to say that if there's a sadhu out there whose practice is living with his arm extended over his head for 15 years or so, maybe adopting a practice of reciting a mantra might feel more accessible to you, maybe more doable. There are mantras. I've said before, there are many different types of mantras. There are purification mantras. There are healing mantras. There are protection mantras. There are wisdom mantras like the one we just did, the mantra of emptiness, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom. There are compassion mantras. There are even swift compassion mantras. There's a 3-syllable mantra that I can teach you. There's a 100-syllable mantra. They're long, they're short, they're in between. Here is why the practice of mantra yoga works. And I'm going to ask you to please pay attention closely to this, because you have everything you need to complete the path to complete liberation and full enlightenment through reciting a mantra. Oh, and by the way, speaking of different types of mantras, the only mantras I know are Buddhist mantras, but there are also mantras of many other spiritual paths. There are mantras in Hindu doctrine. There are Christian mantras. There are Sufi mantras. I would imagine that there are pagan mantras, right? I'm sure that all doctrines have all spiritual paths have mantras. So if Buddhist mantras, I can teach you Buddhist mantras, but if that's not your jam, no worries. There are lots of other mantras available in other spiritual paths. Here is why mantras work. A mantra is a verbal manifestation, a verbal emanation of a particular state of mind or a particular state of being or a particular deity. So, for example, it is said, again, in Buddhist doctrine, it's all I know, but you can find mantras elsewhere and they can apply the same way. The mantra of green Tara, Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, pretty short. The mantra of green Tara is the mantra of swift compassion. Tara is the wind element. She acts swiftly. She manifests swiftly. So it's said that that is the mantra of swift compassion. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. That mantra is compassion. It's not a representation. It's not a representation of a symbol of compassion. It is compassion. Or alternatively, if you want, you can view the mantra of Green Tara as being Green Tara herself. You recite the mantra of Green Tara, you are reciting or unifying yourself with Green Tara directly. Here's another special benefit you have from the practice that you have on meditation on the inner body, right? Conjoining the practice of meditation on the inner body with recitation of a mantra, right? Your body and your mind are not separate. You know this. You know this from your practice. You have a direct experience. I think all of us have a direct experience of meditation on the inner body, and you have come to experience the fact that your body and your mind are not separate. You conjoin your practice of mantra recitation, mantra yoga with meditation on the inner body, the mantra becomes one with your body directly and non-conceptually. The non-conceptual part is really important because it eliminates the obstruction of the thinking mind. The thinking mind filters stuff through interpretation, through the thinking mind. We interpret, we evaluate, we analyze, we judge, we question. There's a point, there's a point in our practice where that sort of evaluation and analysis is important. And once we have satisfied to a certain degree our thinking mind, then we need to let it go and just experience directly and non-conceptually. Your body and your mind are not separate. So if you conjoin the practice of mantra yoga with meditation on the inner body, you're taking in compassion or green Tara or wisdom or protection or purification or whatever the essence of the mantra is. You're taking it directly into your subtle inner body, and you become one with that. You become compassion. You become green Tara. You become God. You become the wisdom Buddha Manjushri. You become Ganesh. You become whomever or whatever you want. And once you become one with a Buddha like green Tara or whomever it might be, you have all of those qualities, all of those properties. You are green Tara. And that's it. It's over. You're liberated from samsara. You have perfect, complete wisdom, knowing, understanding, and experiencing the world exactly as it is. You complete the path. It's that simple, and it's that easy, and it's that powerful. We just need to apply ourselves to it. Almost finished here. You guys hang in there with me for another minute or two. If you have objections about this, if you have questions, please write me. And you folks listening to this recording on a YouTube channel, you can reach me through info@lotuscentersc.org. Please feel free to write me with questions, objections, whatever you have, whatever will enable to you to remove obstacles such that you apply yourself to this practice. The other thing is, I've said a number of times over the 3.5 years that we've been holding these Monday, Friday classes, I have told people, I've appealed to people, if you need a suggestion for a mantra, you say, I don't know any mantras. I don't know any. And like, how do I find a mantra? I've invited people to reach out to me and say, if you don't know a mantra, reach out to me. I'll suggest one to you. I'll suggest several to you. In the last 3.5 years, I've had exactly one person reach out to me for suggestions on a mantra. That means it means a lot of things. It might mean that you all already have a mantra that you know and are comfortable with. Or it might mean something else, like you're nervous about it or feel weird about, or whatever the obstacles might be. It's a standing offer. There's nothing more important to me than providing tools like mantras that can help you all become liberated from suffering. So if you don't have a mantra, let me know. I can suggest one or several to you. Short, long, whatever. As long as they're Buddhist mantras. I don't know any other mantras. I guess I should maybe change that. So All right, you guys, happy Monday. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll get back to training in tenderness on Friday.
Thank you, Jim.
Yep.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks much, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're very welcome, you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I really liked the mantra. It was beautiful. I mean, yeah,
The perfection of
Thank
wisdom
you.
mantra.
yeah, it was very nice. Thank you.
I had no idea what it meant, but it was very peaceful meditating with it.
I'm glad to hear that, Barb. Thank you. Okay. Bye,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye.